And you'll probably hear a bit more of my story, but I also wanted to have us hear from another friend tonight. And they're going to share a little bit of how their life changed when they met Jesus too. So I'm going to have Miles come up and share. Where is he?
Hi guys. Wow, there's a lot of people here. My name is Miles, and like Jenny's story, I started my life growing up going to church, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Christian. It was more or less something I just did once a week on Sundays. When I got older, I started going Wednesdays, but most of my life revolved around plenty of other things. And I only really went because there was kind of this pressure too from my parents, particularly my dad, who I never really had the best relationship with growing up. Him and I were kind of always on the rocks, and it was just really difficult growing up to the point where right before I graduated high school, I completely cut contact. And I just had to go 0 dark 30 because I just couldn't handle being in that relationship anymore. But I come into college being like, okay, I want this to be the traditional college experience of, okay, I'm gonna go to parties every weekend, I'm gonna drink and smoke until I can't see straight, and I'm going to just meet a whole bunch of girls. That's what I wanted my college experience to be. And that is what it was for about a semester. And I was like, cool, I have it all figured out, smooth sailing from here for the rest of college. But that quickly deteriorated after a really rough winter break. And I came back from winter break expecting to feel the same things that I had felt my first semester, but it just was not there. And what I saw in the lives of others, particularly some friends closest to me, including my freshman year roommate, Grant Bain, who a lot of you don't know him, and we miss him every day. He's not dead, he's just in Europe. It's okay, he's coming back. I saw particularly what he had in his life, and he came back from winter break, particularly the SALT conference, and he was just on fire for the Lord. And I had seen everything that had been going on in his life, and he came back and he was so passionate about the things that God had been doing in his life, the people that he had met, and just the relationships that had been formed. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want to have, but I am so terrified of reaching out for that. So in the moment when he was telling me all these things, I shut him down. And I was like, cool. And I just leaned over and I just kind of scrolled on TikTok for the rest of the night. But he left for a little bit, and during his absence, I actually took the time to write out a little bit of a note, just kind of to try and figure out what I was feeling and just get some sense of what to think of in that moment, of what he had just told me and what that meant to me. So I'm actually going to read verbatim, almost verbatim, can't say some things, but Grant had a really cool discussion with some of his friends tonight, and it got really deep, and it made me upset for some reason. I think partially because he was hanging with people who I have wanted to get closer with, so to see them all getting closer without me stings a little. But also because I feel like I don't have a group like that. A close group that I can really call my friends, that I can really emotionally open up to. I never feel not loved. I always felt like I have had a supportive group of people around me to help me and guide me through life. It's just I've never felt like I'm anyone's first choice. There's always someone they would rather choose over to me, and that sucks. But hey, I guess it's my fault for emotionally holding myself off from everyone. I mean, I guess I've sort of felt like I had to. I was so open with all the BS that I went through in high school that I became too comfortable with being a victim, having a scapegoat, having a reason to not be the best version of me. So I've tried to stop that from happening now. But in doing so, I think I've gotten rid of my ability to be genuinely vulnerable with people. I'm also questioning my religion again, so that's always fun. Not in a is God real kind of way, but in do I want God to be a part of my life in an attempt to make it better kind of way. But part of me feels like if I'm reaching out, it's going to make me seem weak, that I'm looking to a force that's above humans, that's out of my control. I believe in God. I believe in heaven and hell and everything like that. I just don't believe that maybe God plays a role in my life as much as other people think he does. But maybe it's time I change my perspective. So after that, I started coming to Chi Alpha. Through invitation from Grant, I kind of came to the first few meetings and I just like sat there and didn't say anything, twiddled my thumbs, and when it was done, I was like, cool, and I just left. But like Jenny said, something kept on drawing me back. Something kept me coming back time and time again, and more of the puzzle pieces started to be not only revealed, but they started to fit together as well, of what life truly was meant to be all about. But something kind of happened around St. Patrick's Day that rekindled that connection between my dad and I again. And it was nice for a little bit, but unfortunately that very quickly turned sour, and I was left feeling very emotionally distraught and just felt like I just needed to isolate completely and just cut like all people out from my life. But soon after, I went to a Chi Alpha service, and through the worship that night, I felt so clearly that a relationship with God was not something to fear. It was not something to run away from or feel like I had to be in control of or feel like I had to negotiate it on my terms, but it was just something that I could enjoy and be in the presence of and fully be who he made me to be and fully be everything that he ever wanted for me. And that was the first moment in my life that I truly felt the presence of God, but it was the first moment I also felt like God could be more than just this far off guy in the sky. And after that, I don't know, a lot of stuff has happened since. And like Jenny said, I could spend hours talking about what had happened, and it's been far from easy, but it has continued to be the best decision I've ever made, and it's led me to where I am today. So thank you guys.